They called it Emberdeep, the forge beneath the forge. It was a city carved not just into the mountain, but into the bones of the world itself. The kind of place where every hammer strike rang like a heartbeat, and every tunnel whispered pride. I came across it years after the fires died. All that remained were ruins, wind, and silence thick with memory. I wasn't a dwarf. I wasn't a hero. I was just a man with a book and ink-stained fingers. But the place spoke, even through ashes. It told me of stone that once sang, of forges that echoed laughter, and of pride so heavy it cracked the earth. I sat there by a quiet fire, holding the broken helm of a king, and for the first time in my life, I listened. Harground Ironbraid. His name struck like steel. King of Emberdeep, Lord of the Burning Hall. They said he forged weapons that could split spells and carve the sky, and that even dragons gave way when they heard his hammer fall. His forges burned hotter than any known flame, fed not just by coal, but by ambition. Under his rule, Emberdeep was legend. Its steel sharper, its halls louder, its pride greater. But the deeper they dug, the more his name became prophecy, not praise. He believed the mountain bowed to him. He believed runes were meant to be broken. And in his pride, he ignored what even stone remembers. That power unearned will always ask for its price.
It was not greed. That's what makes this tale so cruel. It was legacy they chased. Something eternal. Something that would make them more than dwarves, something worthy of their forge songs. They found a wall, carved in a forgotten tongue, etched in runes that shimmered blue even in darkness. A wall meant to be sealed forever. And still, they struck. A single pickaxe blow, and the first rune bled red. Magic twisted, shadows stretched. Some say they heard voices from behind the stone. Some say they heard music. But what is certain is that from the moment that wall cracked, Emberdeep was no longer home. It was a stage, and something ancient was ready to perform. The mountain didn't collapse. It opened its mouth. Red smoke poured out, not like fire, but like memory. It wrapped around the dwarves like silk and began to whisper. And they listened. The smoke promised strength, promised weapons that never dulled, armor that sang spells. It promised them songs that the gods themselves would fear. The dwarves didn't scream. They sang, until their voices cracked and their hearts burned to cinders. Some danced, some laughed. One by one, their names vanished like breath in the forge heat. It wasn't a massacre. It was a choir, and the mountain was only the instrument. One soul fled, just one. A child not yet sworn to the forge, too small to carry iron, too quiet to be noticed by the smoke. His name is lost. But in his hands, he carried a scroll glowing with a rune that refused to fade. He ran through tunnels half collapsed, whispering a tune he didn't understand.
He didn't cry. He hummed. And through that hum, the last true sound of Emberdeep survived. He never spoke again. They say he became a miner in the north. Others say he vanished into the wood. I only know this. The scroll found its way into my hands, and when I unrolled it, the air grew warm, and the mountain whispered again. So I sit here on the edge of the world, and I write. The ruins smoke faintly behind me, as if still ashamed. I was no witness to their fall, but I have become the witness to their silence. I found the scroll buried beneath a collapsed prayer stone. I found a helm, cracked like a broken bell. I found ashes that remembered songs. And so I listen. I write. Because the realms forget. The realms sing of glory and gods and fireballs and crowns, but they forget what happens in the dark, what is lost, what burned too brightly to last. I am not a hero. I am only a scribe, but even ink, if written in fire, can remember.